Right, everyone, welcome. We're here with Barry Watson, right? That has managed to go from point A of like not really knowing what is preventing him from experiencing his dance to the fullest, not having that confidence, feeling some insecurities, having some mental and emotional blocks, to now being hired all throughout the UK, being competing in multiple competitions, taking his dance and his life to a whole new level, in a personal matter, in a professional matter. So I'm really excited to have you here, Barry, and I would like to thank you in the name of the program and the people that they are watching. So please, Barry, tell us uh, what, for example, what's your age, where are you from, and what's your background, besides dancing.
Well, thanks for having me, Antonio, first of all. Yes, name's Barry, and I am 44 years old. I'm originally from Edinburgh, but I now live in the wonderful city of London. And I've been a dancer for a good 33 years now, all in total. And it pretty much it pretty much consumes my life, but that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing. And outside of that is always just trying to do new things and spend time with my friends and all the usual stuff that a typical 44-year-old gets up to, I would believe. I don't know. I might be a bit strange. Who knows?
Thank you very much, Barry. So I'd like to start with that initial state that you had before we met, before we started working together. Um, so what were maybe the specific problems, blocks, frustrations that you were dealing with before we started working together?
It's bizarre answering this question because it feels like a completely different person I'm talking about, and it's hard to think back that far now. It's bizarre that I can barely remember what it was before. Um, it was more to do with the fact that I reached a point in dance specifically where I just wasn't getting anything from it anymore. I was dancing and I wasn't connecting to my partners, not connecting to the music. And just getting really super frustrated with it all and really like quite annoyed. Um, but at the same time as all that was happening, I knew it wasn't just the dancing. I knew there was something else underlying that was really kind of bubbling up and festering. And I was like, right, I'm not sure what all this is. And obviously that frustration for me uh started to spill over into my personal life as well. For lots of different reasons. Getting frustrated. I couldn't see my friends. Um, or when I did see my friends, I was never in the best of moods. Um, and I was just going through a period at that time as well where I think because I wasn't feeling excited about dancing, I realized I wasn't feeling excited about anything. It was just pretty much numb all the time. Like especially going to events and stuff, usually you get a bit of hype getting ready to go to like a congress or go to a weekend or whatever. Or even seeing some friends you've not seen in a while. And that hype just wasn't there for me. And then I realized that I've never felt hype before properly. I've just sort of pretended I knew and it was kind of fake excitement. And once I realized that, I was like, right, okay, there's definitely something that I need to unlock or something that I need to address. And that's when I thought, right, okay, I need to start looking into this a bit more.
Okay, thanks, man, for sharing. Um, so you saw that there was something going on for you on the dance floor and also off it, and that's what made you, try to look for some answers. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's like yeah, 100%, 100% right. Yeah.
So let's talk about now the decision of doing something about it. You probably had multiple options, and then all of a sudden you found me, my profile, something. How did you find me?
Um, No, it started off like I done what probably a lot of people do when they're going through kind of stuff that I've been through or anything like that kind of that you hit the internet, you hit Google, and you start putting in things like for me it was like what is depression, what is anxiety, how do you deal with it, and some of that stuff made sense. I was like, okay, there's some parts of that, maybe I'm a bit depressed, maybe I'm a bit anxious as well. There's a bit of both, and reading into how depression works, how anxiety works, and reading into why I'm frustrated about this, that, next thing, why I feel numb all the time. But you're just getting kind of like other people's opinions on it as opposed to like actually working on it. It's like this is what I felt. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, that's how you felt, but it's not really helping me uncover why I feel that way. And some of it explained it quite well, and but it was just never kind of hitting any sort of. It just was never kind of hitting a solution for me or something that could get me to a better state. And then it was just one day I remember like doom scrolling in my lunchtime, just through I think it was Instagram, just scrolling away, and it was one of my good friends, Maddie, who'd also been with you. Um, she one of her reels just popped up, and there's a reel talking about you and how far she went through, and it was weird because I didn't have to approach Maddie because I've known Maddie for a while now, and we're not the best of friends, but I remember the first time I'd met her was at a dance event, and lovely dancer, lovely person, but you could tell she was quite insular and quite introverted a little bit from meeting her. I was like, okay, you're quite quiet, and she ended up coming along to some of my Zoot classes, and we talked a bit more. And again, still quite introverted. And then all of a sudden, I see her on Instagram, and she's blowing up all over the place, like teaching different congresses, all these classes. And I mean, who is this woman? Where did she come from? It's amazing. It's so good. But where the hell did she come from? Because it's not it's like the Maddie that I met times 12. It was amazing just to see how good she was doing and how much she was kind of blossoming. And I was like, right, okay, how is this happening? And of course, through the reel that I was watching at the time, she was talking about this guy called Antonio. I was like, right, okay, what's this Antonio guy all about? And I think you liked that post. I was like, right, okay, going for a spy here. I jumped into your profile, and it was Inner Growth for Dancers at the time, and just going through some of the reels and the way that you explained some of the stuff in your reels, I like, are you feeling this? Are you? And I was like, oh my God, like you're literally getting to the core of everything that I'm thinking just in a couple of seconds in a reel. And watched a few reels, and some of the stuff, some of the things you've done was like an expanded reel. And I remember seeing um like one of them was asking, "Are you frustrated on the floor?" And it went on about like connecting with people and all the stuff. It was almost like you were taking everything that was in my head and sticking it in a reel and exposing it to the world, which is a bit scary to be honest with you, because I'm like, you're literally putting all my fears and things out there. It's not me, but you're putting it all out there, and I'm not sure I like it. But I thought that's quite telling, and to have another man pretty much convey everything that I'm going through in the space of a minute and a half of however long the reel was. I was like, right, I need to get in touch with this dude. And that's when I sent the message. And yeah, that's when we started to get together to work together.
And at the beginning, when you sent that message, did you have maybe some doubts about me, the program, joining?
Um, of course it did. The old me, of course it did. The old me was very skeptical and had a very pessimistic view on pretty much everything. Um, and it's always one of these weird things. I find myself always to have been quite a spiritual person, but there's so many people out there that are full of BS and can take you for a ride, and you're just kind of like, left no better off than where you started, really. So because this is kind of one of these things where it's inner work and not outer work, and the results, it's weird because like all the results that you get are mostly internal, and that affects the external, and it has done. Um, but because it's all internal kind of rewards and nothing external, it's kind of easy. These kind of things can all obviously easily be manipulated, and people can be taken for a ride and all the rest of it. So of course there was a part of that for me. But then of course when Maddie had gone through it, and there was almost physical proof there already. As like Maddie's changed in so many positive ways in the space such a short space of time that I was like, I'm going to take a dive anyway. Um, and I'm going to go for it. So there was a slight moment of hesitation, but wasn't a point I don't think where I went, nah, not going to do it.
So if I'm hearing correctly, because of um, the topic that we're touching is an internal thing, it's an inner work. You were not really sure how could we maybe measure or demonstrate that this works, and you didn't want to be taken advantage of because you know that there are so many people there full of BS. And maybe the way that you overcame that fear was through the testimonial of someone that you trusted and that you saw the results in her life. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, for me, it's like for even though I was in a kind of like a numb place, I always thought to myself, I can fix this stuff myself. That was another part. I was like, why am I going to some other dude that doesn't know a thing about me? He doesn't know who I am. He could just be, for all I know, he could just be after my money or whatever. All those little like negative thoughts trickled in at some point, and I'm like, and I was like, I can sort this myself. But then obviously, like you've said, Antonio, seeing the testimonial, seeing how much that's changed one person's life, and 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 just like the way that you presented yourself on the social media on Instagram on your profiles, I was like, yeah, you can't say the kind of things that you were saying and not mean them because they've got to come from a place of truth. You can't make some of that stuff up. So I'm like, and a big part of me recognized that, and I was like, that's why I'm gonna go for it because like it wasn't speaking to my brain, it was speaking to my soul kind of thing. As much as
Mm,
that sounds kind of quite spiritual and stuff, I was like, right, okay, this guy's got something in there that I want to explore. So that's where the hesitancy sort of just went, yeah, okay, we'll hesitance to decide. There you go, off you go. I'm going to do my thing.
amazing. Thank you very much, Barry. Let's talk about what happened once you joined the process of transformation. Um, as you mentioned, there are two type of, let's say, results, or you know, you have the external, what people may notice, and the internal. So let's talk first about the tangible, the out external results. What
Okay.
specific external results are you experiencing now, thanks to the work that we are have done together?
Um, okay, I'm going to answer that in two parts, just because like there's one little story that I think you might remember, and I think it was like coming on to a third session. Is when I started when I was already seeing external results, but my friends were really seeing the external results. And I remember being at a dance competition, and one of my good friends came up to me and was like, I don't know what's changed in you, but you seem like such a happier, better person. And I love to see it. And I want you to keep going. And that I think that was my first. There was little trickle bits of external validation and external and I can see the external working, but to have a friend, and this friend's usually quite cynical as well. He's usually quite witty and snappy and uh, likes to take the mick a bit. But it came up, it was just really genuine. He's like, I'm really happy for everything that's happening to you because you seem like you're coming out and back into your own, back into yourself again and back to enjoying life. And I was like, for somebody just to see that and come up and say something to me without any prompting whatsoever was, I think that was the first sign of I'm definitely on the right path. If this person's seeing it, damn straight I'm on the right path. But since then, like you'd said at the start of the start of this, I've now like again, it's really weird because it's just my normal life now, so it's trying to think of the differences. Um, yeah, I'm back to really enjoying teaching again, and like I've just come off a weekend event, and I think it's the first one I've enjoyed genuinely since well before we started our work. Uh, like I got to spend time. I made sure I spent a lot of time with my friends, which is usually I'll be hide away in my room and just be like, right, I just don't want to talk to people. I would spend a lot of time with them, laughing, mucking around, getting to dance with them all, and really enjoy the dances. It's like I remember before we started the work, I could still connect to people, but I couldn't fully connect and fully be present. And as much as I probably don't want to say this in an interview, I have to say it just because it should convey exactly where the connections come from. Like I obviously said I do competitions and I do. And me and my dance partner, we have such a ball on the floor together. And we've always danced well together, even when I've been going through the crappy times. But now we do, obviously, when we compete, we dance in different genres. And we had a competition recently where I think I hit every range of emotion possible on a positive sense. The fun tracks, I think I ended up on the floor laughing halfway through a competition just because of what my friend done in the dance floor. And usually we try to hold it in and be really professional, like, we got to win this, we got to go. And I was like, I don't care. That was funny. And I'm going to just indulge myself in having fun. And when I came off the stage, like some of the judges made me put you first place because you were just 100% in the moment and you didn't care that you were competing and you were just having a laugh and just having fun. And that's the person we want to see. We don't want to see, even if it's a competition, we don't want to see ultra professional Barry. We want to see the genuine Barry. And then on the other side of it, we have expressive tracks. It's a lot, obviously, a lot more lyrical, and both of us, like for the past four competitions, anytime we have a track that's expressive, we're both in tears by the end of it. Like we fully open up to each other to the point that both of us are crying in each other's arms through sheer enjoyment of the dance and the love of each other and the love of the dance. And we're both like, yeah, we're both like a mess at the end of this. By the end of this dance, we're both a mess. And what's really nice is like when people see that, like again, because we're allowing ourselves to express ourselves properly and genuinely, that's hitting other people and they're expressing themselves. Because I see, like, like in the past 6 months, I don't know, I don't want to say how many people I've made cry because of my dancing, and then come up to me afterwards and say that was beautiful and it really touched me and da 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 da. So I don't like to think I make people cry, but if they're crying for the right reasons, I'm all for it. And other ways that it's been really good externally, my life's just got like so much better. I'm spending more time socializing and going out now and not getting frustrated that I'm not. And I think one of the things we really touched on was setting proper boundaries in relationships and stuff where I was quite a people pleasery kind of person where I would put up with a lot of stuff that I really shouldn't have been, and that drove into me being quite negative. Um, Now I just don't. Not with any sort of viciousness or anything, but I will be like I'll be quite straightforward in what I expect and what I would like, and if those things aren't met, then it's a case of okay, maybe we're just not supposed to be in each other's lives at this present moment in time, and then let them go with love, let them go without any sort of hate or vitriol, and if things happen, we get to cross paths again, and we're better suited, fantastic. Um, one of the weeks I remember one of the weeks that we had was me and my relationship with money. And the fact that I always kind of squirreled away things and all that. I'm not going to spend money. I'm not going to do anything for myself. What if one day it's a rainy day and I need the money and da 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 da, and we worked on it, and now my relationship with things like money and stuff, it's like it's such a healthy relationship now because it's like I'm now just doing the money's there, I'm just using it, whatever. Still making my savings, still doing all the things I should be doing and being like clever with my money. But now I'm not hesitant on spending it if I want to. Not long after we finished our sessions, my brain just went, I want a PlayStation 5. And the old me would have went, no, 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 no. Wait till it comes down in price. You don't really need it. You don't need it, Barry. You only play the PlayStation once in a while. And then back to like the new me was just like, hang on a minute, the money's there. I'm spending it. Let's do it. Let's do something for me. Let's
Mm.
just do something that Barry wants to do. And Barry
Mm.
wants a PlayStation, so Barry gets a PlayStation. And it's just quite nice to like be able to just like, yeah, do you know what? I want to do it, so I can do it, and I deserve to treat myself every now and then. So yeah, all these things combined is just like, I don't know, I'm just much happier with everything. I wake up every day like thinking, yes, let's go, as opposed to, oh, I can't be bothered.
Really nice, man. I'm really happy to hear all of that. Um, where do you think you'd be right now if you hadn't joined the program?
Oh, do I have to answer that? Do I have to think about that? I think I think the old me would still be pretty numb, would still be trying to keep everybody else happy over himself, would still be stuck, definitely. Um, I'm pretty damn sure that I wouldn't be having the friendships that I've got now and the connections that I have. Um, and I'm pretty sure that I probably wouldn't have the same dance partner I've got now. And like all the lovely dance connections I've got, and I certainly wouldn't have all these like beautiful work opportunities that I have because of the way that I used to put myself forward back then is so different to how I put myself forward now. Um, yeah, I think if I was still the old me, I'd be struggling at the moment, and I'd still be hitting Chat GPT, and I'd still be hitting Google, and I'd still be complaining to my friends that things aren't going the way I want them to go, and my friends doing, yes, Barry, yeah, yeah, okay, it'll get, and my friends doing the friend thing that friends always do. It'll get better without knowing that it will. And yeah, I can just see like my friends getting frustrated at me more than anything else. Because I'm keeping myself stuck in the situation I would have been in.
Barry, why do you think that you got these very different results?
Um, the reason that I got these results, well, number one, it was through you. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade, my friend. If it wasn't for you and the work that you do and the way that you do it, most importantly, I wouldn't even the person I am now would be a dream. Is That's all it is. It's like one of the things that we done was to look at what I wanted to be like and setting those goals and pushing me to think outside of myself and not what I think I can achieve, but like forget what I think I can achieve. What do you want to achieve? What's the ultimate? And I never allowed myself to think that I could have it all, if that makes any sense. It's like it was always like keeping myself contained within a box. I was like, yeah, maybe I could get that. Maybe I could get that. Or I can get or setting these or having these like tiny goals that were like oh, maybe I can afford a suit next week, next month, or uh, like just I was always setting goals for myself, and even back then I was setting goals, but back then they were tiny goals. It was like baby step goals compared to what I'm looking at now. Now I'm like, yeah, I know the future me. I know what the future me is going to be now. Now I just need to get there. And I'm not gonna divulge here how we've done it because that's the course. I don't want to try and shortcut anybody because that's not going to be fair for their journey. But now having seen where I can be and where I want to be, that clear is now what the driving force behind pretty much everything that I do. Yeah, I don't know if that answers the question. I think I might have went off on a tangent there. I'm not sure.
No, it's good. It's good. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that and your honesty. Moving into maybe closing a little bit with okay, after the program, you've done through it, you invested um, time, energy, your own finances in it. Would you would you recommend it to someone else that
We
it's
don't.
in a situation, similar?
Do you know what? Um, yes, this isn't meant to be me hesitating. I'm just remembering what you said the last question, and I was like, uh, I'm just going to jump back if that's okay, just to finish that last question because something just jumped in my head, and I know you know me, Antonio, and I do this a lot. But it's like I think like one of the things we done in the course was, and then I realized that it wasn't just about dancing, was even in our first session. And I remember my first session being about the fact that I just feel numb all the time. And I don't think I've ever felt excitement. And every session we've done the same thing in a way. The same thing being, let's look into where this started. And what was really foundational and really quite big for me was the fact that it was never about dancing. Every time we delve back into where did this start, it was for the most part something in my childhood. And it went back every single time to something that happened when I was a kid, or something that happened when I was a teenager, or some big core kind of emotional wound, I suppose, that I just suppressed and ignored. And I think even though I think I said this to you, I think I would have been able to identify it myself if I'd left it long enough, but I wouldn't have been able to work through it myself. I would have went so far and then just given up, and no, it's too hard, or no, nothing's going to change. But to have you there as like a guide, I think that's one of the big things you've always said, and I hope you don't mind me saying this in the interview. That it's not because of you that I'm doing that I am the way I am now. It's just you were the guide that took me there. I've done all the work myself. You just showed me the door and you helped me open it, and then you let me walk through it. And you're beside me, not pushing me from behind, not pulling me from the front. We were side by side the whole time, and you were like the biggest cheerleader, which is fantastic. So to answer the question, hell yes, I would recommend this to anybody. Not only, I think the thing is, it's like I wouldn't even just recommend it to people that were struggling. I would recommend it to absolutely anybody that wants to kind of open up more doors in their life. Quite frankly, even the stuff that I found it halfway through our sessions and stuff, I was like, I'm not sure what to work on now because I've been working on these goals and everything's just opening up, and now I've got so many options. I don't know where to start. And aside from not feeling like I didn't have even one option to having all the options, I don't know. You come into session, what do you want to work on today? I was like, I don't know. And it's not because I was like, I don't know what to work on. Do we want to work on relationships? Do we want to work on money? Do we want to work on the fact that I get frustrated in dance? I don't know because I've got all these things now that's just now open to me. And I think anybody, even if they feel that they're in a good part in their life, I could almost bet there's something that could be unlocked. Because I think that everybody has those things that I had where it's like something's happened in their life that just went, nope, that's in a little box under the bed and it's never going to get looked at again. And what you done was asked us to bring the box out and let's look at it together so it's not as big and not as scary. And looking at it from an outside, you've been able to look at it from an outside point of view, got to ask the questions and got to look at it and helped guide through those problems. And I think yeah, anybody that's has that in their life, anybody that has these doubts or these things that have happened in their life where it's potentially affected them in a negative way or closed them off to certain aspects of life, those things really do and they really can be changed and really do affect you whether you realize it or not. And to have somebody like you, Antonio, that is willing to stand by you and open the box with you, be inquisitive, ask questions, offer support when it's there, even just holding space while the processing happens. That's, I mean, you can't, you're not going to find that in very many places. You're not going to find very many people that can, with the ability to do that. And it's just amazing to have somebody that can offer that. And it does sound very kind of anybody that watches the interviews go like, God, this is a different Barry from back in the day, and it is, and it is down to you. It's like I'd be quite curious to see some friends that haven't seen me since we started working together. And there's a few of them as well. They'll probably be like, oh my God, who is this person?
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I would 100% recommend it to anybody. You don't have to be in a bad place. You don't have to be struggling with life or dance or anything. It's worth having. If there's anything that's sticking at all in your life, you need to explore that stuff and explore it deeply. By all means, try Google, try ChatGPT, do all the things I've done. But in my experience, you just can't unlock it yourself, not fully.
Hmm.
You get to a stage, but not fully. You need somebody like you, Antonio, to unlock up, to be there with the experience, with the knowledge, to help unlock and unpick all these things, to sort of unravel the mess and let it go, essentially, so you can move forward in a really positive light and into the kind of lifestyle and future that you want, as opposed to the one you just wish for, the one that's achievable.
Thank you so, so much, Barry, for the amazing response. I was going to ask, what would you say to someone that is thinking about joining but still have doubts? But I think that what you just mentioned it's pretty comprehensive. I don't know if you would like to add anything on that. Thinking about
Yeah,
all of those people that maybe your friends that you were mentioning, or people that they see my profile and they also have some doubts. Would you have maybe like a, one liner for them of like your own opinion?
I mean, I'm honestly just like Nike, just do it. I mean, it's just a case of it's difficult because if you're anything like me or anybody that looks this and knows me will know what I used to be like. I'd be like very skeptical and sitting back like, no, especially being protective over things like money at the time. Um, and now, I I will admit, and I think you'll probably remember, Antonio. I was very hesitant when it came to the paying for the course kind of thing. Um, and I'm sure like people will hesitate when it comes to because it's like you're you're essentially it feels like a gamble. It's like I'm putting this money towards a thing that I might not achieve any results, and it could just be me throwing money at the wall. And I can say this now, not a chance. Not a even me being the skeptic that I was. I must have sat for about 2 days thinking, do I do this? Do I not? Do I do this? Do I not? And I would have. hated myself for not doing it because I guarantee at some point I would have come back. If I hadn't done it when I'd done it, I'd come back about a year later, done all the work, and then just been like, why didn't I do this a year ago? I wasted a year of my life in this numbness that I could have fixed ages ago. So anybody having any hesitancy with anything with it, especially the financial side of it, because I know a lot of people will hesitate with that kind of that thing. Don't. It's honestly it's worth every penny of it. Um, but yeah, as a one-liner, if you want to get if you want to better your life, and that's not on and off. Sorry, I'll do it again so you can do it as a one take. If you want to better your life both on the floor and off the floor, you need to speak to Antonio. He's got your back. He'll sort you out. Peace.